Remembering Ozzy, my journey to the Back to the Beginning gig. Like so many people, I was rocked by the news of Ozzy Osbourne's passing. Despite his well-documented health battles, which had clearly intensified in recent years, his death still came as a shock. As Alice Cooper said before stepping onto the stage upon hearing the news, it still takes your breath away. And for me, the past few months have been something of a rollercoaster. There was the initial announcement that Black Sabbath would be reforming one last time, a moment that filled me with excitement. That buzz only grew as more names were added to the bill. Some of the most influential metal bands of all time, both globally and for me personally. My name is Will Green and I normally write marketing focused content, but music was my first love. Long before I knew what marketing even was, I just wanted to be a musician. Ideally a rock star, if that wasn't too much to ask. I've always felt a kind of personal connection to Ozzy that goes beyond just being a fan. I was born in Australia, but when I was young, my family moved over to England and we stayed with my grandparents in a small village called Jordans in Buckinghamshire. Jordans is a tiny Quaker village with a peaceful, tight-knit community and centuries of history. It's actually where my parents got married, in the Mayflower Barn, which is rumoured to have been built from the wood of the Mayflower ship that took the Pilgrims to America. My grandmother Molly was the warden at the Jordans Quaker Meeting House, which was built in 1688, and one day, in the 1990s, she gave a tour to a local resident who had recently moved into the village, none other than Ozzy Osbourne. He, Sharon and their family had moved to Jordans because it was dry, no pubs nearby, which made it a safe place for Ozzy to be while coming off alcohol. In 2005 there was a fire at the meeting house some time after that, and the roof was badly damaged. But in a show of genuine generosity that the community still talks about today, Ozzy and Sharon paid for the renovations. And that story has always stuck with me, not just because it added another strange and wonderful twist to my childhood, but because it showed another side of Ozzy. The chaos and controversy was real, sure, but so was the kindness. But back to my late school years and early college days, I couldn't see the point of formal education. None of it felt relevant to the life I imagined, touring the world in a metal band. I started diving deeper into heavy music, getting heavier and heavier, and soon discovered the music of Ozzy Osbourne. My mates and I studied his VHS tapes religiously, yes, I am that old, and later his DVDs, especially the era of Mike Bordin on drums, Zakk Wylde on guitar, and bassist Robert Trujillo, who'd later go on to join Metallica. At 15 or 16, it was a borderline obsession. It felt like we were reading a Bible of heavy metal, a how-to guide for becoming legends. I'd watch Mike Bordin to figure out how to look on stage and how to make my kit sound right. And subconsciously, we were all looking for a singer like Ozzy, a near impossible bar to clear. Part of the reason I grew dreadlocks was because of that era. I wanted to be in that band. I had my time in metal bands and it didn't work out. And if I'm honest, I think I was so heartbroken that I began looking for the next best thing. That journey eventually led me to work for the legendary Roadrunner Records when they still had an Ealing office, and then later tour managed for Ministry of Sound. And from there, I got into marketing. No regrets though. I kind of believe that everything happens for a reason. Within reason, that is. And in my heart, I'm still that 15-year-old dreaming of being a rock star. But I'm also the 40-something who wants to be the best marketer I can be, to provide for my family and help others carve out a great marketing career too. Over the years, I never really had the chance to see Ozzy live. He played Ozfest, solo shows and even a couple of Sabbath reunions in the UK, but work, money and life always got in the way. That changed when my wife bought us tickets to the pre-COVID O2 Arena show. Finally, it was going to happen, but then the pandemic struck. Show after show was postponed due to lockdowns, travel restrictions, and Ozzy's worsening health. We were offered refunds multiple times, but we held on, hopeful that one day we'd get to see him. Then came the announcement. The shows were cancelled permanently. Ozzy wouldn't perform live again. I was gutted. So then, when the Back to the Beginning show was announced, I knew that I had to be there, no matter what. Also, my family knew how much it meant to me. They all registered to help me get tickets. On the O2 pre-sale day, I joined the queue, and over 100,000 people strong, with Villa Park only holding around 40,000 people plus standing, I wasn't sure if I even had a chance. And it turns out I didn't. I got nowhere. And it was the same story for all friends and colleagues. We all struck out. Then, a glimmer of hope. My brother James messaged he was further up the queue and might be able to actually bag some tickets. The system was buggy and unreliable, but somehow he pulled it off. He secured 2 seats for what would become the greatest heavy metal show of all time. He asked if I wanted to go for the price that was being offered, because at that time the cheaper tickets had all sold. And of course I did. And very nobly, he admitted it wasn't really his thing. He wanted them to go to someone who'd fully appreciate it. And my mum briefly threw her hat into the ring, but I ended up taking my partner in crime from work, Chris. He had played in metal bands too, gigging the Portsmouth circuit while I was doing the same in Southampton. And we loved the same bands. No brainer. From the moment we got tickets, we went full nostalgia, reliving all the Sabbath and Ozzy tracks we loved, discovering some that we had missed, and getting into all the support acts too. I even caught Black Sabbath live in Southampton beforehand. Zakk Wylde's own tribute band playing Sabbath material. That show just cranked up the anticipation for the main event. Chris and I wanted to make a weekend of it, so we booked an Airbnb for 2 nights. The plan was to head up on Friday, visit Sabbath landmarks like the Crown Pub and the Black Sabbath Bridge, grab our merch early and keep Saturday free for the gig itself. But Friday didn't go to plan. After queuing for nearly 2 hours to get our t-shirts, we headed to the Airbnb, only to find there was no lockbox, no way in, so I called the host. She told me that she no longer owned the property and the booking should have been cancelled weeks ago. So we were stranded, and we weren't the only ones. It turns out that this happened to loads of people, and the Back to the Beginning Facebook group was inundated with people that were stranded in Birmingham with nowhere to stay. Unfortunately, despite Birmingham in general opening its arms to the heavy metal community, many people had taken it as a chance to rip people off. Airbnb support offered a refund, but no solution. Nearby hotels were either fully booked or eye-wateringly expensive. So in desperation, we tried the Travelodge across the road. And by some miracle, they had 1 room left for 1 night only. We grabbed it. 1 night was better than none. Saturday night might be a car sleep situation, but we weren't going to let it ruin the trip. By this time, all the pubs in the area were shut, and it was too late to do all the sightseeing after all. Unfortunately, my dreams of meeting Sammy Hagar were dashed, but roll on Saturday morning. And that morning, it felt like we were 17 again. We dressed the part, full metal regalia. To outsiders, it might have looked like cosplay, but for us, it was about authenticity. This wasn't a performance, this is who we are. And we were going to share the day with over 40,000 others who felt the same. Cue our fashion show.